But like, what about a person in our shoes? Like when we see a person with disabilities and we want to help, like not because we pity them, but because we just would, you know, like to lend a helping hand.
Because you're a good person. You're an advocate.
Exactly.
You guys are advocates. If you see some injustice, you're supposed to speak up because they can.
Right.
See what I'm saying? You know, yeah, go ahead, man.
The polite way to do it is to ask.
You
Before
ask.
you just go ahead, I'm helping, because, you know, just ask, do you need some help?
We get into it. That's why I want you guys to start thinking, putting your caps on. You know, now we get into the way I'm going to show you guys how to appropriately help a person. But you guys are thinking. That's what I want. You guys are thinking. I smell some ideas out there. That's good. That's good. That's what I want you to do. Okay. But yes. So, have you ever heard of this? You might be like,
They feeling
They trying to make sure they don't run into anything.
complex. It's simple. Simple. That's all.
Dealing with
Common
sounds,
sense.
too.
You know how a bat hunts at night. You know how a dolphin sees in the water a whale? Sonar. So they actually can bounce sounds off of objects. And the closer I get to, it's closer to me. So I can hear this right here, way over there. And I know how far that is away from me. That means I know how far my prey is away from me. I make certain sounds, certain, you know.
You mean from the banking, we know the distance between the person and the obstacle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They can actually hear the vibration.
Oh.
Now, just because they're blind, visually impaired, don't mean they're dumb, guys. Okay? Don't take them for granted. All right? Very smart. All right? So, we went over cane. Can anybody else think about any other ways that people navigate the world? Using the blind, visually impaired, how do they navigate? What have you seen? Dogs, service animals. What else?
Like a helper, no?
Service. About service animal, and I'm going to show you sighted
got
dog.
on top.
Okay, I didn't want to say it, but I don't want you to see it, so you start asking about, because you see it, but you probably don't know what this is, okay?
I mean, but if I'm
I need you
blind,
probably
they
to-
actually want me to see.
Oh, I see.
You know, some people take that the wrong way.
But you're right. But I'm going to tell you that I'm going to cover that in my presentation. All right. Now, we have a sighted guy with the lady in the back. You're correct in your assumption. That wasn't be mine. You're here to get a job. She ain't going to be worried about what you're saying, her terminology. Okay, she's trying to see the person. She can see. That's the same thing as saying deaf. All right, man. Did you hear that announcement this last time? No, I didn't hear that. No, I'm not. Turn around. Okay, ma'am, could you stand right here? Put your back to the wall. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, you guys might have seen this. I want you guys to hold your peace. I want them to learn as well doing it, if you guys are observing it, okay? All right, so watch closely. Now, I'm not going to give the whole story away, but I'm going to give them a couple details, okay? The scenario is she just got a job, all right? First day at the office. This is the first person she sees, all right? She, being a sighted guy, has to help her get to me way over there, okay? Now, it might be stairs, chairs, elevators, people, anything in the way, okay? I want to be kind of vague because the world is vague. It's raw. We don't know really what to do when we encounter it, okay? So I want the first one to be, I want you guys to feel it out. Do what you think you should be doing, okay? And you guys just hold your peace, just watch, and then later we're going to show you what happened. Okay. And we're not taking anything personal. This is a class. We're trying to learn, okay? Everybody's got their instructions. You're blind. Don't hurt yourself. Don't help her. But, don't run and trip on anything, but just,
You said don't help her.
No, I'm saying her, I'm telling her not to help you. Don't give you any directions. I want to see what you're going to do. As a person like this walks into the office, how would you help her?
Yeah.
Without any type of training, right?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to ask her something?
I don't know what you're supposed to do. I don't know. You see? I don't know. We don't know.
Okay, what's your name again?
My name is Jonathan
Your last name?
Harris.
Okay. Go, you ready?
You're gonna stay right here. She's gonna walk. You're gonna have to help her to be way over there. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. Action. Be careful. No helping, guys. No helping. Let them work it out. Let them work it out.
Okay.
Mel, do you need any help?
Yeah,
Right on. Right on.
I'm looking for Mr. Harris.
Be right there for me.
Okay.
That's okay. It's okay. Let them work it out, guys. Let them work it out. Hey, how's it going? Are you for the position?
Right
Okay, let's give him a hand. Okay?
on.
Original position, right back, same position. There you go.
All right.
Okay, can anybody tell me what they've seen or observed that could have happened, that shouldn't have happened, or anything in between? Back to your original positions. Any feedback? What happened, what you see that shouldn't have happened or could have happened? Okay, everybody heard that, right? Anything else you guys seen?
Yes.
Come on now, don't be shy.
Maybe.
She had to wrap her arm under, they have to do, like, they had to tell them,
Okay.
they could have did it this way.
There you go, there you go.
Yes.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Maybe even the lady who is, who has visual impairment, and the other is standing there. She has to give the way for her before. She has to move from her way.
Yeah.
And then to see if she needs
Assistance.
the assistance, then she intervenes.
There you go. Everybody heard her? What she said? She was saying she was going to ask her if she needs assistance before they help her. Much like she was saying that you just grabbed her. You know? Now, you guys did a great job. I wanted to be vague like that, okay? Because when in the real world, that's how it is. That's how the untrained is, right? You don't really know what to do, you know? Now, this is how the pros do it. Okay, that's you guys. All right. Now, first thing first. Small talk, chit chat, talk to her. She a person. You just someone. How you doing, man? What's your name? How's the weather outside? You having trouble getting in? Who you see? Talk. You know, talk to them. We're building business relationships. Business provider. Even though you're doing professional, you're doing your job, you touch someone without their consent or their knowledge, it's assault and battery. Okay? If you built a business relationship with that person, if you felt comfortable with that person, if you do forget and touch them, they won't be so jumpy. You understand? They will, oh, I know you. Oh, hey, hi. I'm not saying don't do it. But if you do make a mistake and touch them and you don't tell them, you know what I'm saying? I know you. How you doing? How's your family? Oh, yeah, I remember you from last time. You see? Things can be, a lot of situations can be avoided. You know, you got to use your chatterbox. You got to talk. You got to talk to people and listen to people. That's all customer service. That's all this is, communication. Okay. Next thing I saw was make sure whatever side of the device is, assistive technology device, you're on the other side. Okay. And blind and visually impaired person is going to be a pro. Okay. They're used to being blind. Okay. You guys try to put a blindfold in your house and walk around and see how good you are. Mm-hmm. They do the world. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. So whatever side the device is on, you want to be on the other side. So you can put your arm in an L format. Okay? Now give the person an option of either holding your hand, your elbow, or your shoulder. See what I'm saying? Or sometimes, in some cases, they don't want to be touched at all.
Right.
You got to respect that as well. So that means you got to be even more vocal with your cues. Okay? Now, what I did notice is, that's the door right there. Now, you were saying, okay, right this way. Okay, if I'm blind and visually impaired, what does right this way mean? Is that 2 feet in front of me? Is that, do I make a left at the door or right? You know what I'm saying? I know you're just doing what how you would help her. That's fine, But in professional, in the real world, if you're not being, people notice that. People send spotters to agencies just to see how well you've been trained. So that person that you fired, even though you're doing professional, you're doing your job, you touch someone without their consent or their knowledge, it's assault and battery. Okay. If you built a business relationship with that person, if you felt comfortable with that person, if you do forget and touch them, they won't be so jumpy. You understand? They will. Oh, I know you. Oh, hey, how you? I'm not saying don't do it, but if you do make a mistake and touch them and you don't tell them, you know what I'm saying? I know you. How you doing? How's your family? Oh yeah, I remember you from last time. You see, things can be, a lot of situations can be avoided. You got to use your chatterbox. You got to talk. You got to talk to people and listen to people. That's all. Customer service. That's all this is. Communication. Okay. Next thing I saw was make sure whatever side of the device is, assistive technology device, you're on the other side. Okay. And blind and visually impaired person is going to be a pro. Okay. They're used to being blind. Okay. You guys try to put a blindfold in your house and walk around and see how good you are. Mm-hmm. They do the world. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. So whatever side the device is on, you want to be on the other side. So you can put your arm in an L format. Okay? And that will give the person an option of holding your hand, your elbow, or your shoulder. See what I'm saying? Or sometimes, in some cases, they don't want to be touched at all.
Right.
You got to respect that as well. So that means you got to be even more vocal with your cues. Okay? Now, what I did notice is, that's the door right there. Now, you were saying, okay, right this way. Okay, if I'm blind and visually impaired, what does right this way mean? Is that 2 feet in front of me? Is that, do I make a left at the door or right? You know what I'm saying? I know you're just doing what how you would help her. That's fine, But in professional, in the real world, if you're not being, people notice that. People send spotters to agencies just to see how well you've been trained. So that person that you think they're about 10 feet, away from you. They don't got to be all on top.
Right.
Huh?
I was thinking that too.
Ask what?
Who you here to see?
No, this is business.
I mean, but if I'm blind, you ask me
It
who
don't
I'm here to
matter.
see.
Oh, I said it's
Some people will take that the wrong way.
But you're right. But I'm gonna tell you that I'm gonna cover that in later in my presentation. That we have business to take care of. Okay, you're correct in your assumption, but when you're here to get a job, she ain't gonna be worried about what you're saying, her terminology. Okay, she's trying to see the person that she's here to see. Okay, that's the same thing as saying a deaf person. Did you hear the announcement last night? No, I didn't hear the announcement. No.
Yeah. Where you at, you close enough to her where she can hear you, know that you close enough to her, and you just stick your arm out like he told you. And most of them just want to put their hand on top of you. They don't want you to touch them. Okay. They just want to be able to be guided. That's it.
See what I'm saying? It's okay. I expect this. This is how most cases is. We don't know what to do until we're shown. That's all. All right, guys, you set? You got all the data, all the information they told you? Yeah. All right, we're going to do it one more time. All right. Action.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
Good, ma'am. Did you make it here okay?
Yeah, it's kind of chilly outside.
Who are you here to see? Do you want me to help you the way?
Yeah, you can have one with Miss Wilson.
Okay. You got chairs to the right?
How would she know that your hand is
My
out
hand,
there?
I'm touching her door. My hand touching her door.
That doesn't mean nothing.
Touch you?
You didn't tell her I got my hand out for your left hand.
For your
It's okay,
hand.
guys.
Oh, no, baby, I'm okay.
Okay.
Just tell
You
me
got
what
chairs to the right,
on
on the wall.
Okay, to the wall, to the left, or the right?
Left. You got chairs to the right. The table in front of you. You feel like 10 feet.
All right, thank you so much. So kind.
She sound like somebody's grandma.
Hey, how's it going? All right. Are you for a position?
Yes, I am.
All right. You having trouble getting here?
No, I just
Hey, give him a hand, guys. Now That was great. Hey, man, they got the award. They got the academy. All right? They got the academy and the Golden Globe. See? So you guys see the difference? Right? How was the second one compared to the first one?
It was bad.
Smooth. Third. It wasn't, we got little hiccups.
It was rocky, but it was smooth.
Much better than the first one, right?
Right.
So think about if you keep doing it repetitive, over and over, you get
You have it down.
your technique together, that's all it is. Everybody has their own technique, It's being professional. You got when people start saying, where you learn that from? I'm telling you how people think. Where did you learn that? Who taught you that? Now, show me. Right? Okay. All right. Now, we just put our assumptions on her. Could you imagine? We'll tell you how we feel when we help her. So when I put money in her hat, I'm not really helping her, I'm helping me. And you ask yourself, how am I helping myself?
Your conscience.
Because it don't matter what she gonna do with the money, you know that you gave it to her out your heart to help her.
It's called a righteous prejudice. We feel righteous in our actions. Just like that lady said back there. Exactly the same words. We feel good at what we're doing. That makes us feel good.
The good intention.
Good intentions. And that's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. Good hearts, That's not, if we really wanted to help her, you know what we would do?
Tell her what.
We would talk to her. We would ask her, well, how'd you get on this corner?
Sometimes we want to,
We want to hear all that.
I understand. That's why I want you guys to be careful. But I want to show you the difference between, just paying a toll to get by and really caring about somebody that's trying to help or help that person. So how do you get on this corner? How can I get you off this corner? Here are the resources you need to go to do that. But no, we put our money in her hat to pay the toll. Okay, that's like the bridge. You pay the toll to go get across the bridge, or you can't get across the bridge. So we pay our toll. We don't really want to hear our problems. Let's be real, guys. We don't want to really hear our problems, right? We don't really want to even see them. Let's be honest.
But that's not really the case. Like if she was standing on the corner, I'm just going off what you had her doing.
Yeah.
If she was standing on the corner asking for help instead of asking for money, maybe someone, you know what I'm saying, engage. Like it's a two-way street. Like I don't have, you know what I'm saying. Who am I just to randomly? Okay, I want to get you off this corner. Like you have to try to help yourself. You have to have the initiative to help yourself also.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, when we see her she might have said she needed help. But as we walking past, all we hear is, give me some money.
Because that's how she's saying.
No. Like I said, if she said, can somebody help me?
But
It don't mean necessarily mean money. It could have been resources, just like he just
So why is
said.
no help?
What did she say?
She just said
Drop a
she
cookie
needed
in
help.
there or a sandwich.
But I mean, we
But we
get
so in our mind, the way we think, we just assuming that
She
that's
wants
what
some
she
money.
just said. Instead of us slowing down and going back to what you just said. But that's just our way of thinking.
Hey, so you guys got the chemistry firing. That's good. But what did she say to you guys?
She didn't even say nothing.
Man, but you're right. But I have to be truthful. What did you say to them? Nothing. We assuming that she need help. Okay? We feel good in our actions. You guys are both right. You're hitting on the right cylinders. You know what I'm saying? You're there. Okay? But technically, she didn't say nothing. She just put her hat in front of her. Okay? Thank you. Can you give her a hand?
But I want to show it in the Dominican Palace.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Well, handicap is a term that's used it's a derogatory term. Okay, we should use it now. Find out, you know the person, you know what you call a person with disability?
Sir?
By their name. Why should it be any difference?
That's true.
That means you gotta talk to them. Okay? Communication, that's all this is. Communication, courtesy, common sense. Business relationships. All right, guys, any
Where
questions?
this word came from?
Oh, handicap, we'll go
Yeah.
one more time. Handicap came from Europe 50 years ago.
Yeah.
The veterans would come back from war, and the government told them that the best thing they have for them is to stand on the corner and tell the public to give them donations. That's where handicap came from. Okay?
Hand in cap.
Hand in cap, hand in cap.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we're gonna keep it moving.
Texan.
Texting, hearing aids.
TDD.
What am I doing right now that might be looked at?
Read lips.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they
Body
look
language.
real
Yeah.
good.
There you go. There you go. All right. First thing we're gonna go over, sign language. How many people know sign language in here? Okay. All right. Let me tell you that if you're not efficient with sign language, be careful of its usage, because you might know your name, your address, simple terms, but if I'm deaf or hard of hearing and I see you using signs, what am I gonna assume?
Did
You
you
understand?
understand?
Right?
Really no.
Okay. So it's not just people without disabilities that assume. Everybody assumes. Everybody makes judgment calls, right? But I don't want you to be put in the predicament that this person is throwing signs at you and that's going like, whoa, wait a minute, I don't know what, that's too fast, too much, okay? What would be best would be get a pen, get a piece of paper, a notepad, write down what the information that you need.
And what if he or she is illiterate? How can we write for them? Illiterate people. Illiterate people.
Illiterate?
Yeah.
Well, you would have to assist them. You would have to assist them.
Not all they have assistants.
Oh, I understand. If they can't read or they can't write, you would have to have some way to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
Some way. Read what?
Pictures.
Reading lips is the next one I'm gonna go over.
So,
But let me tell you about sign language, how you should be careful.
yeah.
And I heard, I wanted to tell you this before, but this was in my program. Well, there were two brothers that were doing sign language in Chicago, right? And they were across the street, and they were throwing signs at each other, right? Well, a group of guys in a car, gangbangers or whatnot, were rolling through the neighborhood, and they thought they were throwing signs at them. They thought they were from a rival gang. Killed them.
Oh, my God.
Chicago. But you gotta understand, they're not thinking clearly. They're not saying, well, is that person deaf? They're not asking those type of questions. They wanted to do what they were gonna do anyway. They just wanted to find somebody to do it too.
Yeah.
Okay? So, be careful. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Any other questions about sign language? All right. Lip reading. Anybody know about lip reading? Okay. Make sure you're in a well-lit area.
So,
Make sure you're not eating, chewing, drinking, smoking, slurring the words, talking too slow, talking too fast. And instead of making a phone call, they will put the receiver located here, all right? Instead of speaking what I want to say, I will type what I want to say to you, okay? So say one of these were located in my home and one was located in a grocery store, okay? Say that I wanted eggs, bacon, oatmeal. All right, I'll type it in. Now, they'll receive this text, just like a smartphone, text messaging, okay, at the other end where this another one's located. All right, they'll see where I need eggs, bacon, oatmeal, groceries. Okay, well, then we'll be at your home at this time, and, that's it. Business, transaction has been done. Yeah, it might have not been, regular, on the phone, but you still made money, right?
what's the name?
This is like a readout. You guys know, like a typewriter? Same thing. It reads out your conversation.
But don't they have those type of machines that actually talk for you?
Yeah, technology.
So, if I'm calling someone deaf, I'm talking to the operator gonna type to them, and then they type back to the operator, and the operator tell me what they're
Got it?
saying.
It's a relay call.
So they don't use that no more? No one
This,
use that no
they
more?
still do, they still do, okay? But I just want to show you what people use to communicate, deaf, hard of hearing. Your smartphones, this is where the technology came from. Texting, this is what, they text, the same thing.
Right.
Same, you wouldn't have that technology if it wasn't for.
What is its name?
TTY machine,
TT1.
telecommunication device. Or this also can be set up directly, okay? Relay, I would call, type to an operator, and they would tell me, you know, what I want. Directly, another one will be set up, I can actually type here, and another one will be set up in the same device. So I want this, I want groceries, and they can read out, they don't need an operator. So there's a couple ways they can communicate. Leads itself to autism, intellectual, or leads itself to learning disability. Has anybody ever worked with a person with autism?
Psychology.
Okay,
My best friend, little brother got autism,
okay.
and he bad. Real bad. Real bad.
Okay, let me just say that, developmental would lead itself to maybe their brain didn't develop at a certain time, premature, okay? Certain synapses didn't connect and they didn't develop on time, okay? Now, when dealing with a person with autism, there's several ways to do it, you know? I don't have one method, all right? Sometimes a person with autism just want to be held. Sometimes a person with autism just want to be left alone. You know, people are different. Different kinds, you know. Go ahead.
I'm not familiar with autism. Is it like, I mean, like, what, like, how will I spot, like, is it a way to spot a person with autism or?
I can, my little brother autistic, and like he 25 years old, but sometimes he behaves and acts like he may be 15 or 12 or something like that, and then sometimes he at 25. It's all different kinds of autism anyway. It's not just one kind of autism. Some people with autism have seizure disorders, and you know, all of them got, it's different ones to it. But mostly it's like you growing up, but your brain ain't developing as your body developing.
So is it like,
That's what you might see in the field. Okay, but this is what I want you guys to be thinking about questions. You know, and what if? And how come? And maybe, yeah, that's what I want you guys to be thinking. Okay? All right. And intellectual disabilities leads itself to learning disabilities. That means that my brain has developed, but I still can't process concepts. Okay? I might enter that door 20 times. I still ask you, well, where do I go and where do I get out? You and I would say, well, you know, through that door. But a person with autism, learning disability, you wouldn't understand the concepts. Okay?
Yes.
You guys got to take your time with them. Take your time. You know, explain situations. You know, simple context words. You know, it just takes more time and patience. Any questions about cognitive disabilities? All right. Leads itself right to mental disabilities. Has anybody ever dealt with someone with a mental disability? Okay. Could you tell me what was the scenario? What happened? Schizophrenic, multiple personalities. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a scenario. Say a guy or a client walks into your office and the first thing he does is starts banging his head on the desk. Can anybody tell me what you would do?
Go get some help.
Okay, go get some help. Anybody else?
Try to calm him down in a smart way.
Okay, I'm trying to tell him to calm down. Anybody else? Okay. Go ahead. I want to hear it. Call 911. Okay. This is real life. This might be you. So you might want to think this over. This might be you, and you know,
Well,
Okay.
Ms. Rita, would it be right if we call the supervisor first? Or you call 911 first and then call the
You need to
supervisor?
come out, call 911, and then call the supervisor.
You said come out.
Come out, you're not supposed to stay, if a person comes banging their head, you're not supposed to stay there and try to calm them down.
Okay.
You are to remove
We have
your
to
person
understand.
because maybe that person decided to bang your head.
Right.
You come out, you call 911, you call your supervisor, you follow directions.
Okay.
No.
You
So
don't know
that's-
which way that person is going.
Right.
So that's why you definitely need to be paying attention, okay? I heard someone say talk to them, calm them down. Last thing we want to do is touch a person
Right.
that's acting, erratic, okay? You gotta have common sense now. You gotta understand now. If a person's banging their head on the desk
They
and
can't
hasn't said
do
anything
right.
to you, what do you think talking to them was gonna do?
Aggravate them.
I mean, you gotta think now. You
You
gotta think. You gotta think now. This person might not be able to understand what you're trying to say to them, or maybe he's trying to understand but doesn't care.
Right.
And last thing we want to do is touch a person. We want to make sure that we are protected first. Okay. Now, if a person came in what I would do, if a person came into my office and they started doing that, I would first remove myself from danger. Okay. Get a safe distance between me and the client. All right. Call who I need to call, whether it be 911, EMS, my supervisor, or whatever, the line of command. Okay. But I'm not in direct contact with this person. Okay, because I've already seen that this person is acting erratic. I already used my observation skills to see that talking to this person
It's not gonna work.
is not going to help. You know. All right. Enhanced. It's you call a person by their name. If you don't know their name, it's a person with disability.
Mr. and Mrs.
That's fine. That's respectful. You know, until you find out what their name is. But you don't call someone out their name if you don't know them. You know, it might be derogatory towards them, like the young lady pointed out earlier. I remember. That's good. That was a good one. Oh, no. Lady right there. Yeah, we were saying, we're doing our scenario about who you didn't see and the person was blind. And you guys were how. But that's okay. That's okay. You guys are paying attention. Any other questions about people with disabilities? Anybody here receiving Social Security benefits? Okay, if you are, anybody know that you are, family members, friends, I'm with the Employment Services Unit. If you're trying to get back to work, you know how your Social Security benefits will be affected, we can assist you. We're at 2102 West Ogden Avenue, Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities. We also have a youth summit coming up November 16th for high school, college-age students, 18 to 22.
Yes.
You know, if you want to get graduated from school, you want to get a job or training, we're going to have a lot of agencies there at that time. That's going to be between 9 and 1 and free breakfast. And that's also located at 2102 West Ogden Avenue. That's a Saturday. Go ahead.
Talk, they speak to each other through their eyes. Speaking face-to-face is the most personal means of communication there is. Someone shouldn't be excluded from that direct contact just because they have a disability. And this is a problem for a lot of people with disabilities, not just those who are deaf.
Are you finished with your break, ma'am?
Oh, yes, thank you.
Do you think he's finished with?
Okay, people, listen up. Now, the camera's gonna follow him right through here into that office over there. But I know top business guys and consultants like this one don't post videos every day. Oh, please, just relax, say hello, make him feel welcome, and okay, here he comes. Act natural, be friendly, and rotate.
Hi, everybody. Who are you expecting, Donald Trump? I'm glad to meet you. Hi, Tim here.
We love you. Stand back, everyone. Is everything okay? What will you be talking about in there?
Actually, about how to communicate with people with disabilities.
Did you think of that all by yourself? Oh, that's so wonderful.
You really need to see this video. Like 200 times. I wish I was Donald Trump. Imagine what I could pay myself to host this video. Is this okay?
Yes, that'll be fine. Sorry about that out there.
It's okay. Let me just try this.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Tim Harrington, living proof that America's workplace is changing. More and more, America's 49 million citizens with disabilities are getting an opportunity to show their abilities in regular mainstream jobs. That's a lot of new talent coming in. But the key to realizing that talent is creating an environment on the job and off that lets that talent flourish, just like anyone else's. Wait, this is great, but we're not talking about the Garden of Eden here. All we're asking for is a little common sense, common courtesy, and to use a few things to keep in mind. That's why we're calling this show Simple Respect, 10 Easy Tips, right?
Okay, Mr. Harrington, about the title, the producers decided we needed something a little more dramatic. So they came up with something new.
Oh, really? Like what? The 10 Commandments? Do you think I'm Charlton Heston?
No, you're still Tim Harrington.
You're sure?
Yes.
All right. You know, if anyone out there feels a little uncomfortable with me as host, it's okay. In fact, it's natural to feel a little uncomfortable with people in situations you're not familiar with. But today, you'll be getting to know a number of people who, well, they're different from you and from me, at least in some ways, but they're just like us in others. You'll see the kinds of situations these people face every day, and get some tips. Okay, commandments on how we can all help. Okay, now we go to the first commandment?
Yep.
We have to?
Yep. It's written in stone.
Commandment number 1. Speak directly to the person rather than through a companion or sign language interpreter.
This happens a lot in the deaf community because others feel like deaf people are unapproachable.
Here. It's the report she wanted last month.
Oh, thank you a lot, man.
Ask her if she wants any copies of that.
No, not right now.
Great. Tell her good to see her again.